Breaking news in a controversial case. Louisville's mayor reveals a decision about one of the officers involved in the shooting of Breonna Taylor. A young Detroit woman charged in the shooting of her teenage brother. Prosecutors describe a fatal mistake. Also, a holiday too often ignored is now being celebrated in a big way. We have a Detroit unveiling this afternoon. Hey there, Ben.
Hey, Karen, the warmth already felt across the area, but we're getting hotter as we head into Dad's Day weekend. More on that right now, first at 4.
Local 4 News starts now with a breaking news alert.
Good afternoon, I'm Karen Drew. First at 4, we do start with breaking news in the shooting death of Breonna Taylor. It's a case that's grabbed national attention. And now Louisville's mayor says he has started the process to fire police officer Brett Hankison. He's one of the 3 officers who served a no-knock warrant on Taylor's home back in March. It was part of a narcotics investigation for a suspect that did not live there. But Taylor was shot 8 times when her boyfriend drew his gun. He says he thought it was a home invasion. 2 other officers have been reassigned. No one has been charged. The case has received renewed attention since the death of George Floyd. Also breaking, a shooting investigation on Detroit's west side. There was a large police presence at the home on West Grand Boulevard near Warren and I-94. Police tell us a man, probably in his 30s, was killed sometime overnight or this morning. Police were called to that house earlier but couldn't get in. When they returned, they found a 2-year-old child under a bed, and that little girl was turned over to family. Police are looking for the shooter. We're on the scene right now. We'll have a live report when you join us at 5. Prosecutors described a fatal mistake as they charge a 22-year-old woman in the death of her teenage brother. Tanasia Williams is charged with 2 counts of manslaughter in the death of 14-year-old Chance Williams. He was shot Tuesday at a home on the city's west side. Investigators say the young woman removed the magazine from the gun, pointed it at her brother, and pulled the trigger. But there was a bullet in the chamber. Her bond was set at $75,000. This man is charged in a deadly West Bloomfield shooting. 47-year-old Omar Coney faces multiple charges, including assault with intent to murder. This happened Wednesday at a home in the area of 14 Mile and Halstead. Police say Coney and another man shot a homeowner attempting to rob him. The homeowner shot back, hitting Coney and killing the other man. Coney was arrested near the scene. His bond is set at $1.5 million. Ford is speeding ahead with plans for a full pre-coronavirus production schedule. The automaker says it will be ready to go on Monday. That's 2 weeks sooner than expected. Plans started with reduced schedules to allow for increased safety protocol. Now, the ramp up comes as Ford prepares for key launches, including the redesigned F-150. The racial awakening that followed the death of George Floyd has put a bright spotlight on Juneteenth, and Detroit celebrated in a big way. A massive mural was officially unveiled this morning on Woodward Avenue, reading "Power to the People." It was painted by student volunteers who worked with artist Hubert Massey. One of the students said, "This is a celebration that will last."
Knowing that 20 years later, we can come down here with my kids and they'll say, "This is amazing," and we'll say, "We did this."
The mural is near the Spirit of Detroit Plaza. June 19th marks the anniversary of the date in 1886 that Union troops made it to Galveston, telling slaves in Texas they were finally free. New at 6, we're going to take a look at how Detroit's companies are doing much more to mark the holiday. Take a look at all that sunshine outside. This week has been doing a slow burn, pushing towards that 90-degree mark. So send it over to Ben. He's at his home office. Have we reached that 90 yet, Ben? Where do we stand?
No, we're pretty close, Karen, but I'll tell you, there's been a lot more clouds today than we were anticipating because there's a few showers that have actually been triggered with that low that's just off to our southeast. Let's go to Storm Tracker 4, and you can see mostly in Wayne County is where we've been seeing these showers, and they're going to be continuing to spread, but not moving very fast across the area. You can see a lot of those just kind of hanging around and pulsing up and down there in Wayne County. So we're not really anticipating a whole lot as far as coverage, but do expect to see a few drops there on the east side, at least before the sun sets tonight. Temperatures are in the mid-80s generally, a little bit cooler where the rain has cooled things there at Metro Airport, but it's going to be hot tomorrow. 92 is where we'll finish, 91 on Sunday. Yes, we still have thunderstorms in the forecast for Father's Day, and we'll look at the timing of that, plus the humidity in just a few minutes. Karen?
All right, we'll check back with you in a bit. Tensions surrounding President Trump's next big rally are growing, and security is being tightened as we speak. The president himself tweeting the following message today, quote, "Any protesters, anarchists, agitators, looters, or lowlifes who are going to Oklahoma, please understand you will not be treated like you have been in New York, Seattle, or Minneapolis. It will be a much different scene." Kimberly Gill in the newsroom. And Kim, we just got new information from Oklahoma's Supreme Court.
We did. Karen, good afternoon to you. The decision just came down. The state's highest court there says it will not require people who attend the rally to wear face masks or stand 6 feet apart. This the president's rally in Tulsa that you were just talking about has turned into a tense combination of COVID-19 concerns and security issues. Hundreds of people have already been camping out for days there, but Tulsa's mayor has declared a civil emergency with a curfew in the area surrounding the arena where the speech will be held. That curfew in effect from 10 p.m. until 6 a.m. through Sunday. So that means the people who lined up to have will have to leave the area around the arena, or they could face arrest. 2 local residents went to court hoping to enforce CDC guidelines at the event, but the court ruled they couldn't show they had legal standing. So again, the request just denied in spite of health concerns.
Our healthcare professionals are saying that this is not a good time to have it. We've had our highest spikes ever, and the healthcare professionals are saying it should be delayed.
We're here for one thing, and that's to support our president, and people are trying to stop us from doing that.
Well, the Trump campaign will provide temperature checks, hand sanitizer, and masks, but they are not requiring people to wear them. The rally is set for tomorrow night, but things feel very fluid, Karen, so we'll continue to keep you posted with any new developments. Until then, we'll send it back to you.
All right, we appreciate it. Thank you, Kim. We do have some breaking news just in. A federal judge has just ruled that indoor gyms across the state will be able to reopen next week. In an opinion published within just the past hour, a federal judge granted a preliminary injunction against part of Governor Gretchen Whitmer's executive order, allowing indoor gyms to open back up on Thursday, June 25th. Make sure to stay with Local 4. We will have reaction from local gym owners when you join us at 5 o'clock with that breaking story. The frantic pace of coronavirus updates has actually slowed in the recent weeks. We didn't hear from Governor Whitmer or Mayor Duggan today, and that obviously is a good sign. Another encouraging sign, the state has reported 5 additional deaths since yesterday. That is the 3rd day this week that number has been 5 or under. There are 211 new cases today. That's about the same number over the past 3 days. The governor's last big announcement was her intention to get children back into school in the fall. She will announce her roadmap to make that happen on June 30th. Meantime, for educators, frustration continues to build as they are forced to bloodlet their budgets for the new school year. They say they have no information on how much money they can spend or the financial impact of remote learning. Paula Tutman digs into the school budget crunch.
The slashing has already started. The only reason the Bloomfield Hills School District won't be cutting teachers is because it won't be replacing the ones who are retiring, but it will be making cuts.
Are we looking to cut $2 million out of our budget, $4 million, $8 million, $10 million? When you hear cuts from $250, $750, $2,500 per pupil, we're trying to budget for almost everything, and that's just an impossible task to do.
Kenneth Gutman is the superintendent for the Walled Lake Consolidated School District. Last night, his district was forced to cut 50 teachers from its budget. Gutman is also the vice president of the Tri-County Alliance for Public Education, which represents more than 500,000 schools and 40% of the state's student population.
We know we won't have a budget from the state before June 30th. And that's just unconscionable.
On the House floor in Lansing, the frustration is felt, but lawmakers say their hands are tied by Washington.
We're looking at a possible $2 billion hole, $1 billion this year, even potentially next year.
While attempts made to talk to Speaker Lee Chatfield and Majority Leader Mike Shirkey about the holdup and the holdout went unanswered, while speaking to State Rep Sherry Gay Dagnogo.
I do have one of the members that's sitting not too far from me right now, from the other side of the aisle.
Can you drag him over? State Rep Aaron Miller, who chairs the School Aid Subcommittee. And you guys are doing no distancing.
That's okay. We hug each other.
Did speak to us.
I feel the need and recognize the need to know some of those details. But as I bring up to many people, though we know the worst case numbers that have been brought out last month, We don't know yet if those are going to be the final numbers.
So you've been hearing about the HEROES Act, the $3 trillion that is expected to possibly be voted on in mid-July. There's no agreement right now from Pelosi, McConnell. I mean, there's still some debating on, the $3 trillion they said is dead on arrival.
I wish I could say authoritatively what things we're going to do just so schools could just so they're not left guessing.
If they can foresee the possibilities of us appropriating those dollars in the summers, we will certainly have to find ways to do more with less. But I caution moving too quickly, laying teachers off.
Yeah, but here's the catch-22 with that. These school districts certainly can't spend money they don't have. They can't plan on money they hope to get. Those budgets are due in 11 days. The legislature won't get back to them until mid-July. What are they to do? And so they do the budgets with the worst-case scenarios, and that means cuts, Karen.
All right, thank you, Paula. Still ahead, here first at 4, it is a big question facing many working parents. Are you feeling comfortable with putting your kids back in daycare? See if you agree with the feelings in a new survey. Also had movie theater About Face. The nation's biggest chain tried to avoid controversy, but that did not work out the way it planned. First, a new twist in the vice presidential sweepstakes. Governor Whitmer is a possibility, but another high-profile woman has taken herself out. Her explanation could affect Whitmer's chances. We'll explain.